All right, it's the 2nd of July, and it's a Wednesday, and we have about just over 25 minutes to the NY Open. Go to the charts now. Okay, just a second. All right, let's take a look at the calendar first. So today, 8:15 a.m. EST, where there is some employment change news. Shouldn't do much, but we're going to wait for that because it's 15 minutes after the NY Open. It's a red news folder on Forex Factory. 15 minutes after the NY Open, so we're going to wait for that and probably look for setups after that. Tomorrow is the big one. Tomorrow is NFP, and then I think some of the brokers might have an early close tomorrow because Friday is the 4th of July. It's a holiday. So some of the brokers may have early close, probably starting NYSE Open. Let's see. I don't know whether that'll apply to all instruments, but it will. But some of the brokers I know are having an early close. IC Markets is um, NYSE onwards, but I don't know whether it's going to apply to gold or not. So we'll have to see tomorrow if you're going to be able to trade NFP or not, right? If the market is going to remain open or it's going to close, we'll have to check later on. I will check that and I will post. If there is going to be the stream, then I'll obviously post a link tomorrow in the Telegram group. If not, then I will also post a link. I will post a message in the Telegram group if there are no streams tomorrow. If the broker is if IC Markets is not if IC Markets is closed, basically. Okay. Yeah. So let's take a look at this on the daily. Let's go upper time frame to the weekly. Just a second. Yeah, let's go up one time frame to the weekly. We are pushing up, right? We're clearly pushing up. We came to this green level. We've had this rectangle drawn for, I think, since a couple of weeks. I think we've had this rectangle drawn. Price, I said that's a decision area. Price came, tapped that area. We rejected these levels 3250 and 3265, and we are pushing up, right? We could be coming up here. Very possible. We could be coming to 3400. Right, which is about 550 pips away. That's possible. We'll have to look at on the daily what's happening. So on the weekly, just on this time frame, we're pushing up. We're bullish on this time frame. Yeah, sound is good, right? Yeah. On the daily, we've created new demand here. That's a reaction to this demand. Now, this demand obviously is a reaction to something that happened here on the left. We don't need to go into that right now, but there should be a 4-hour zone here. Generally that's the case. There is a 4-hour zone or probably even a 1-hour zone where price, that's the source. This is the first reaction. This is the second reaction. So we reacted to that form demand, pushed up, we broke above this zone, this supply here, then we came back down, then we pushed further, broke above that zone and pushed further, then we came all the way back again and we respected this low and we pushed up and we broke above this zone. So we're heading higher. We're very possibly heading higher. We're coming back to 3367 and then maybe even high, right? We should get a reaction here because this price, there is a, this could be a decision area on the daily time frame. On daily supply, this could be a decision level because this area took out kind of this low here, this demand, right? But we'll have to see. If you have a lot of bullish volume, then we're going to go through all of this. We're going to head probably towards 3,400 pretty easily, right? And that's about 560, 570 pips away. Now, let's go to our trading chart. Yesterday, let's take a look at on 30-minute. Yeah, price just ranged. Then once stream ended here, then price dropped, and there's just ranged, just ugly. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Here we tried to take a sell here of 3,350, didn't work, push further up, and then yeah, we came to the liquidity candle, tapped the liquidity candle to the pip, and then dropped, but it just ranged, came back to 3,350 and went sideways, right? And then later on, uh, towards the beginning of the second half of the NY session, we started to push down, but then we pushed below here. We came to this area here. I remember I had drawn a green, I'd put a green line here in yesterday's stream. If you watch yesterday's stream, that's where the green line was. Price came there and just ranged, went sideways there, right? In the Asian session, we traded below, traded back above, traded below, trading back above, which is ranging. There's nothing happening, right? If you look at the 4-hour time frame, it's just ugly. We're just going sideways the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, the last almost 20 hours, about 18, 19 hours, we've just been moving sideways in this range here. That's possibly the top of the range right there, around where price is currently at. That's the top of the range, 3343, 3342, and that's the bottom of the range, right? About 100 pip range. We're just bouncing between the top and the bottom of that range. Now, we could be slowly pushing back up to 3350 and back to this liquidity candle here. If it comes there, it's very likely going to break this high and continue even higher. Let's get rid of this. We're going to break this high because we've come there once, twice, third time we're going to come very possibly deeper into that level, right? And we have news today, so news could push us higher, right? We'll have to see if we're going to have a liquidity grab before price pushes up, or if we're going to just continue higher. Now, the 4-hour candle we've created for our support. For our demand seems to be forming. We could have a pull back here to create a bottom wick on the 4-hour because we've got over 2 hours, maybe 2 hour 20 minutes for the candle to close. So price could push down, create a bottom wick, and then push back up and close possibly above 3350, right? Creating a new demand zone there for price to continue higher. That's very possible. That's something that I'm going to be looking for today, right? If that happens, look to take buys to go back up here, right? So maybe about 150 pip move or even more. All right, let's start with our zones. Just a second. All right. So the zones that we drew yesterday are still valid because price hasn't broken to the upside nor to the downside. It hasn't broken above or below any of these zones, right? But so what we're going to do is I'm going to take a look at this area. We have a rally, a base, and a drop here, right? A clear 4-hour supply is formed here. Now, what we can do is we can make this, since the zone is large, 200, we can make this into 2 zones now. That's probably what I'm going to do. Right. That's the zone, that's supply. And you can see price is reacting to that already. Let's take a look at this in the 1 now. Yeah, on the 1 hour, I would draw it like this. I would tighten up the zone a bit. Yeah, so that's a rally. 1, 2, 3 basin candles, right? This candle has more collective wick than body, and so does this one, and this candle is in between the two of them, right? So those 3 candles are the base, and then the drop here. These 2 candles are pushing down. So let's put the numbers on that. 804, and this open is 868. Yeah, let's take a look at that on 30-minute as well. Yeah, we're coming up. We're coming further up. We're going to probably create that bottom wick, come maybe here, create that bottom wick. What's this? On 30-minute, 33, 37. Hmm. Yeah, 33, 37, possibly come there, 4, and then push up. We'll have to see. Yeah, that's possible. Okay. Right, let's just. Ooh. Yeah, what I'm going to do is base this off there. That's better. Because that's the source, drop, base, drop. This is the first reaction, second reaction, and then if we come back up, third reaction. So I'm going to push this up so we don't overlap this zone. That's all that's left of the zone. This high is 133. Yeah, good there. This side is 804. Okay. I think we had drawn this liquidity candle differently yesterday. Did we? Can't remember. Maybe that's correct. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, we've tapped that here. Could become. We'll have to take a look at this zone, newly formed zone here at 3350. We'll have to take a look at that because that's very likely where we're coming to. But we have to see if we're going to get a reaction or we're going to continue to push up from there. I think we're going to continue to push up. Right, that's supply. Then we have this older zone with this from earlier, from a few weeks back. I'm going to extend that to the right. NY sessions have been very quiet. First 3 hours of NY sessions have been very quiet. for a while now. Yeah, and I think once we get here, then we're back at all-time highs, are we? No, not yet. Once we get here, we've got to get up here to 3450, another 500 pips to get to all-time highs. Okay, but we could be coming up here, 3367, and then further up here to this area right here. This area. We spoke about this yesterday, 3378, 3377, 3378, 3379, that area. All right. Hmm. Okay, let's look at demand. Demand, this is, we have a drop and a rally here. Support has formed. We'll have to look at it on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, there is a newly formed zone here. Let's do that. That's a part of this, a reaction to this. Yeah, this low 762, 479, 479, 762. And then this one. Okay, that's what's left of that 1 hour candle, 1 hour demand zone. It's no longer a high liquidity zone. We've come, yeah, it's a 63 pip zone. Price has come about 40 pips into it. You can take off this label, right? And okay, just extend these to the right. I think we might continue to range today because in this larger range, right? This as the top, this at the bottom, we might continue, we might stay in this range because tomorrow is NFP. It tends to happen. Yeah, I think that's good enough for the downside. Got about 250 pips. Okay, maybe this one as well. Now these past zones, you'll see them in the past streams that I've done. You'll see that if you watch yesterday's stream, you'll see all of these zones being drawn. I don't, to save time, I don't redraw these zones. Yeah, a 1 hour candle could close bearish, pushing down here. What's this? 35, 33, 35. Yeah, if it could come down here, another 40, 50 pips. All right, done. Those are the zones. Yeah, we're right now in the middle. Right in the middle. Let's take a look at the 30-minute one last time. Yeah, that's good enough. There's a zone there. Rally, base in candles, and a drop from 3350. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. You can see that the EMAs are kind of moving sideways. They're parallel to each other. When this happens, just means that there is no volume in the market. Price is moving sideways. That's all it means. Okay, just save this. Okay, right now sorry, we have two new zones. We have a zone here, just a second. We have a new demand zone here, and we have a new supply zone here. That's it, right? Those are the only two new zones that we have. These are older zones. Okay, so we have a new demand zone here. That's all left of that demand zone that we drew yesterday. And this demand zone below here. Let's take a look at this zone and see if this is a high liquidity zone or not, right? So basically what I'm looking for is if price has taken out opposing demand, the supply has taken out opposing demand, and it has. There's a rally, a base, and a rally, and this push down has taken out that zone. Also, there is a, if you look at the 30-minute, there is demand here, a rally, base rally, and price has taken out that too. So this is a high liquidity zone. Okay, and this demand here, let's go back to the 1 hour, check if it has taken out. It has taken out these highs here. There is a drop, a base, and a drop, a rally, a base, and a drop, and this move up has taken out that high and that high. Also, this is a high liquidity zone. This is the problem. When prices range in, it creates these supply demand zones very close to each other. So that's just a 120 pip gap between the two of them, a range. Yeah, let's see. Let's look at the top of the range, where the top of the range is. This is the yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's the top of the range. That's the bottom of the range. That's the range that price is stuck in right now. About 120, 130 pip, 125 pip range, right? That's the top, that's the bottom. Okay. This is just to show you guys what's happening right now. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, that's where price is in between this resistance and this support here. On the 1-hour time frame, that's the top of the range, that's the bottom of the range, right? Let's just get rid of this. We don't need that. Okay, so let's see here if we have a high liquidity candle. It's just we got about 3 minutes to the NY open, and then we got another 15 minutes after that to news. Let's take a look at this area and see if there's a high liquidity candle here and in here. In here, that's the largest bearish candle. Let's start with that. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, 1-hour candle is about to close. We're closing bearish here. Should close bearish. Let's see. Should continue to push down. Coming off this liquidity candle right here, the 30-minute time frame, it would be that candle. Yeah, that's the largest, 96 pips. Just go to the 15-minute. Yeah, that's the candle right there. 15-minute candle, perfect. Price has tapped it. Yeah, tapped it to the pip. Perfect. This is why I spend more time identifying the liquidity candle, because that's where price eventually will come to or react at. 777, 566. Yeah, we've tapped it here. Perfect. Tap, and we're reacting to it. Okay, let's take a look at the demand zone. 1 second, let me just save this. Yeah, we're closing bearish. 1 hour candle is closing bearish. 30 seconds. Kind of a doji. Yeah. Could break the low, push back up. Yeah, we're closing a doji. Yeah, closing a doji, could push back up. Let's see. Anyway, let's take a look at this area, right? On the 1 hour time frame, there is this candle, 92 pips. Yes, yeah, this one right here, that's a doji. Let's start with this. Let's go to the 30-minute. 88 pips. Yeah. Here, 15-minute. Yeah, that would be the candle. Yeah, that's the candle, 5-minute candle, this one right here. 686,002. 686. All right. So if price needs liquidity to push up, that's very likely where we're coming to, where we could come to. There is an EMA here as well. Price is above the EMA, so it can grab liquidity from the EMA and push up as well. It could drop 20 pips, 25 pips, and then continue to push up as well. Okay. We'll have to wait for news. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the analysis. Let's look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. All right. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. See where the market opened. Right here. Just ranging. The market was ranging. A second half of NY session just flatlining, just moving sideways. There was nothing, right? Then the market opened right here. The open was 33.39. Okay, 33.39. It's on a high there. Yeah, this is just ranging. Yeah. Okay. 499. 862. 762. 376. Yeah, so we're reacting off this. 30-minute resistance has formed, but dojis, but we're close below the London high. It could be continue to come down. Okay, let's take a closer look at this. Let me just save this. Just a second. Okay. All right, so let's take a closer look at this. We still have about 10 minutes to news. We're still ranging. Okay, so on the 50-minute time frame, Asian session moved about 160 pips. London session moved same, 160 pips, right? So nothing much happening. That's, as I said, I think we have drawn this gray box here and a gray box down here, and price is within that, has stayed at the top, at the bottom, top, and the bottom of it, right? Maybe let's draw that again. Yeah, yeah. So that's the range, right? Roughly, approximately. Okay, let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so the market opened here. That's the market open. We were ranging. We continued to range. We pushed up, created the Asian high, came straight down to the liquidity candle, formed 30-minute support, pushed back up. We created the Asian low, pushed back up. We rejected the Asian high, formed 30-minute resistance, right? Pushed back down, came back to the liquidity candle, formed 30-minute support again, pushed back up to the London high and the Asian high, created 30-minute resistance, and is trying to push back down again. So it could come down here, right, around, let's put a line there, 37. Let's see what that looks like on the 4-hour. Yeah, so no top wick, could come down to create a bottom wick. On the 1-hour, there is a zone there, could come further down, maybe even here, 35, and then could push up, right? We'll have to see what candle confirmations we get here, right? But I would prefer taking buys to push up. No sells because we already uh, past where further we've come down from the liquidity candle, yeah, and we formed 30-minute resistance. Yeah, I would be buys would be better, right? Since the weekly is bullish, the daily is bullish, the 4-hour is bullish. Yeah, since the high time frames, the weekly, daily, 4-hour is bullish, I would I would feel better to take buys if we form 30 minutes support here and a 30-minute bull candle close, a 30-minute tradable bull candle closes, to take buys to go up here 3350, and then through this liquidity candle to this one here, above this high here, right? That would be better. About a 200 pip move if you can get that. That would be better. That's what I would like to take, right? Sells, not so much because the high time frames, weekly, daily, 4-hour are all bullish. Would like to price to push down, create support either here or further down here, create support, and then look for buys to go up. That's the plan. Okay. Yeah, we're coming down. We're coming down towards 337. Let's see. We got news in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What numbers are they expecting? They're expecting good numbers. It's not an important news event, right? Let me say that this is not an important news event, but they're expecting good numbers. Good numbers. If it's this or better, we should push down. But that is just um, that's not an important news event. And price action works not because of news events, but because of liquidity. Right? If you've been on the streams long enough, then you'll understand that liquidity is more important than anything else. Price will, if it needs to go up, then it'll collect liquidity to do that. If it needs to go down, it'll go up and collect liquidity to do that. Right? What happened to my stream? Okay, what's wrong? Okay, any questions on anything that, on the analysis, on anything that I've explained, what I'm looking for? You can always post a question in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. Three minutes news. Yeah, we're gonna get a reaction here. We've tapped the EMA already. Two minutes. We're pushing down before news. Could continue to push up. Very possible. Could continue to push up later on. Yeah, we're coming down. Yeah, that's news. There we go. We're pushing back up. Yeah, it's possibly a liquidity grab from the EMA. Let's see if we continue down or we're going to continue to push up. What was the news? It was bad numbers, very bad numbers, very bad numbers. Very bad numbers. Very bad numbers. Should continue to push up. We were expecting a push up anyway. Price to continue higher. Going up there. Anyway, waiting for 30 minutes support to form. Yeah. Not sure if I want to trade this range to continue up because 3,350 is right here. You take a buy. We're going to go 70 pips away. It's not worth it. There's a liquidity candle here. It's an ugly range. If price it comes down deeper from support, maybe I will be willing to take it, but I don't think it's going to come. We're pushing up already because the news was very bad. So we've already pushed 100 pips. We're going to continue higher. We're pushing up. There you go. We're coming to 3,350 now. We're going to tap that and then probably go through this liquidity candle, come to this one here. Yeah, we came very close to 3,337, just a few pips, about 5 pips away from it. Yeah, I was expecting a bullish move. We created the bottom wick here, so we're pushing up now. I said this at the beginning of the stream. 4 candle will need to create a bottom wick to push up, and that's what happened. We created the bottom wick, now we're going to continue higher. We're going to very likely come above this high and then go further up to 3,367. I'm just not willing to take a buy, here. You can take a breakout. If you're a breakout trader, you can take a buy. If the 30-minute candle closes bullish, and then you can take a breakout you can take the breakout trade on the next one and put your stop loss under the 30-minute candle low. But I always wait for a pullback. So I'm going to wait for the candle to close, and then let's see. Yeah. Yeah, we came, tapped the EMA perfectly, reacted to it, pushed 106 pips. Yeah, see that? Straight up, 100 pips. These are liquidity levels, right? So if you've been on the streams long enough, you'll understand. I keep putting this chart up. These are the liquidity levels that I have identified on a price chart. There may be more, but these are the 5 that I look for. High liquidity candles, those are visible with um, the light green, these light green boxes and these dark pink boxes, right? These pink boxes and these light green ones. The darker green ones are the demand zones. The darker red ones or the maroon ones are the supply zones. And inside that, you'll always find, very likely, most of the time, you'll find a liquidity candle. And that's what they are. So those are the high liquidity candles. Then the next liquidity levels are BRNs, or psychological round numbers, like 3,300, 3,250, 3,350, those big round numbers. Okay, I also call them BRNs. And the next ones is the weekly SR level, weekly support resistance level, that you'll find them here. These are all the weekly SR levels, and there are many of them on the chart. If you've been on the streams, you'll have seen them. And then the next one are the EMAs, right? This is a pullback. This is the same EMAs as the EMA cross, right? So, and that's exactly what happened right now. Price came, tapped the EMA, pushed up over 100 pips, right? And we're continuing higher. We're coming to 3,350. We're gonna, once we close above 3,350, if you have a 30-minute candle close above, then we're going to push through this liquidity candle, and we're coming to this one. And once you break this high, we're coming to 3,367. If you break out trader and you see a setup that you are familiar with, you can take the trade, right? I just personally trade only pullback, so I wait for price to pull back, and then I look for buys or sells. Yeah, that's better. Let's see if we close above and stay above this resistance, or we close back inside and come back down. For price to continue high, it needs to close above and stay above. 30-minute support needs to form here and close above the Asian and London high, which are almost at the same price level, Asian high and London high. Right? We rejected, but we came back up. We broke this high. So if we close 30-minute candle, is going to close in 6 minutes. If we close above the Asian and London high, we might have a pullback and then a continuation up. Let's see. Let's wait for the candle to close. I'm waiting for the candle to close. Once it closes, maybe we can take a pull. We can take a trade here. Let's see. All right, I'll be back in 2-3 minutes. Just waiting for the candle to close. We got about 5 minutes for the candle to close. I'll be back in a few minutes. Any questions on the analysis or anything I've discussed here today? You can always post it in the chat, the YouTube chat, and when I'm back, I'll answer them. All right, we've tapped 3350. We were expecting that move up. Price came to the EMAs and pushed up over 100 pips. Now we'll have to see if the 30-minute candle, which is going to close in a minute and a half, is it going to close at the resistance or above it? If it closes at it, that's fine too. And if then the next candle, let's see, you should close. If it closes here at resistance, then that's fine. Then we could continue to push up. Let's look at, then we're forming 30-minute support. This candle is Yeah, that's how I would draw the fib. But a safe stop loss is going to be under here. Yeah, so I would, the safer stop loss is going to be under here because price could come back, break this low, continue, and then it needs to stay above this support here to go up, right? So let's see. We'll wait for the candle to close. The candle needs to close at resistance to continue higher, but we could have a pullback. 30-minute support is forming. 20 seconds for the candle to close. We should close at resistance. Yeah, if you close in the gray box, that's great. Then the next one could create a bottom wick and continue higher. 15-minute. Yeah, right. We closed inside the gray box. That's good. Form resistance. We form support. We closed inside. We could have a pullback. If we have a pullback, yeah, I'll look to take a trade, but very deep here. 051785. 785. Yeah, I'll be looking to take a trade. Let's go the 1 minute. Yeah. Down here. Yeah. Here, I'll take one, maybe even below this low, in fact, because let's see. I'm not going to place any pending orders. I'm not going to place any pending orders. I think price could come down further. Okay, here, take a pending order there. Zero nine six. Yeah. Down here, 65. If we come there. Now my stop loss is going to, safe stop loss is going to be under this candle here. Right? It's wide, it's 110 pips, but we're going to manage risk if we get there. 36.77. 515. One entry here, 36.77, and one here. I'm anticipating a pullback before we continue higher. That's the reason for the entries. Okay. Let's see if we can get there. We might just react to the optimal entry and push up, but I don't want to take a trade there because price can push down, because this is where support is, and that's the liquidity candle. So price can always come to this liquidity candle. We've come very close to it, just about 8-9 pips away, so we can come back there before we continue to push up. Let's see. If it continues, if it doesn't come down, that's fine, and it continues to push up, that's fine. I'm not a fan of trading in these small ranges anyway. I think price, as I said at the beginning, price is going to continue to range today. We might push up a bit, but we're very likely going to come back down. The daily might close a small body candle for tomorrow, and tomorrow we could push up. We could come down, break the low, and then continue to push it back up again. That's very likely, and that is why I'm not a fan of kind of trading in these small ranges. It's not worth it. It's been anyway. If you watched if you're trading the NY session in this week, the last 2 days, you'll see that there was not. It's NY session, really nothing happened. This was yesterday. Look at that, just moved sideways. Uh, so, yeah, we moved sideways, no volume. NY open, went up, came down, went up, came down, went up, came down. Right? It's really nothing happened between, that's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. 3 hours, nothing happened, and then we closed below the support and then pushed down. But first 3 hours, nothing happened. And the day before that, look at that, just ugly. Again, 3 hours. That's the first hour, second hour, third hour, and fourth hour. And the end of the fourth hour, we closed above 3289 and then pushed up. Hence why I'm waiting right at the bottom of that range to look for buys. I'm not trying to chase price here, because if this entry plays out, then it still has about 50-60 pips to get up there. Then you can. You have to be very conservative with your TP levels when price is in a range like this. Got to be very, very conservative. You can't look for 150, 200 pip moves. So 30-minute support has formed as a reaction to this first EMA, and we've closed at resistance. We've tapped 3350 to continue higher, but I'm waiting for a pullback. You can take a trade as long as it fits your risk. You can look to take a trade, but I would say the safe stop loss is under here, right? So you can take a trade wherever you want to take a trade in this range, anticipating price to head up here, all right? About 100 pip move from where current price is. But if you pull back further, then you can get a larger move up, anticipating price to head up here, and then eventually here. Tomorrow is, let's see how this daily candle, it all depends on how this daily candle is going to close. If we close a small body candle inside this range, we don't break the high, that's fine. But we close a small body candle, then tomorrow, and we close a bullish candle, bullish or bearish doesn't really matter, but if you close a small body candle like a doji here, then tomorrow it'll be interesting to see, look for the push up for NFP where we break the low, grab liquidity, and then continue to push up to 3367 and higher. But we have to wait for the daily candle to close today to see where price could be pushing up, where price could be heading to. Is it going to continue up or is it going to continue down? We'll have to wait for the daily candle to close. I'm going to be here till I'm going to be here for another 15 minutes, another 20 minutes. Wait for the 30-minute candle to close, and then I'm going to call it a day. These are the buys. If they play out, I'm going to keep them. Let's see how what happens. We are reacting to the optimal entry. Price is pushing up. Has pushed up about 50 pips already. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it pushed up 50 pips. Just not willing to. I was not willing to wait. Take a trade there. Sorry. Oops. Yeah, 51 pips. Yeah, it's nothing much happening. We've closed above, 50-minute candle has closed above. We should continue higher. Maybe we don't come here. That's fine. We just came to the optimal entry and pushed up 50 pips. That's okay. Yeah, perfect. 50 pips exactly. Continuing higher, we should be coming. It's not going to happen today, but we're coming to. I've been speaking about this level for the last 3 days since Monday, but let me show you guys where I anticipate price to come to, and even further tomorrow. Right, this is what I expect based off high time frame price action, 30-minute time frame. This is where I'm expecting price to come to. That's the move I'm expecting. About a 314, 320 pip move up. Um, Now maybe could happen tomorrow, maybe not today. You could close the daily could close a small body candle, and then where is that level? 33, 33.79, 33.79 is there. Yeah, there. Where these wicks are, where the resistance is around 33.80, 33.82, around that area, right? That's about a 350 pip move up. That's where I'm anticipating price to come to, but maybe not today. Very possible tomorrow. We are pushing up right now. 15-minute candle closed again above resistance. See, this is the importance of drawing this, learning to draw support resistance levels correctly. All right, when you draw them accurately, and I did it on the stream, I've done it many times before. You see the perfect candle close, 15-minute candle close above it, right, or at it, and then we're continuing higher, 60 pips up. Yeah, we're pushing up. Should be going through this liquidity candle. Maybe later on, but it should price should continue to go through this liquidity candle. I've been saying this since the stream started. Go through this and head up here above this high here. Continue deeper into this towards 3367. Now, is that going to happen today or tomorrow? I don't know. It depends on if there is going to be volume or not. We've not seen a lot of volume in the first 3 hours of the NY session. Um, yeah. If you did take the trade from the optimal entry, I'd drawn this fib, then good for you. You must be about 70 pips in profit right now. I didn't. I was waiting down here at the sniper level for a trade. It was just uncomfortable that I don't like. I like a better. I like price to pull back further. And sometimes, not sometimes, quite often, I don't get entry. But when I do get those entries, the RR is much higher, right? And the stop loss is very small. It's a tighter stop loss. You would have seen this week. I did take trades this week, Monday, I think on Monday and Tuesday both. Yeah, tight stop losses. They were not winning trades. They were losing trades, but 25, 30 pips. Some of them 10 pips, 11 pips, 12 pip trades. With a very tight stop loss, right? And then the move, the expected move, depending on where um, the next liquidity level is, could be 100 pip, 150 pip, 200 pip move. So it's a very tight stop loss for a very high RR, and that's the way I trade. But you don't have to trade that way. Once you've done your analysis, you can choose to be a breakout trader as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was just waiting for price to come here to push up. Right? That would have given me about at least a 80, 90 to 100 pip move up, which is what I wanted, not this, not the 50 pip move. But there's nothing wrong with taking a 50 pip move. All right, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then if there's no questions, we're going to end the stream. Price is ranging. It's probably going to continue to do that. The 4-hour candle has about an hour to close. Um, Probably going to range around 3350. It did the same yesterday. You can see that, right? 30-minute time frame, we ranged for about 3 hours. That's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, over 3 hours, about 3.5 hours. We ranged at 3,350. That could happen as well. Obviously, I'm not going to be waiting for the next 3 hours here for that. But the move happened. The candle closed, support formed, price pulled back, came to optimal entry, and pushed up to 3350. It's just a 50 pip move. I said at the beginning, you've got to be very conservative with your TP levels when price is ranging. We've had the last couple of days, price has done nothing in the NY in the first 3 hours of the NY Open, and that's what's expected today as well, because tomorrow is NFP. So the big move could happen tomorrow, right? But later on today, after NYSE open around 10:30, 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. EST, you could get a move, right? There could be some volume, but tomorrow is going to be um, the high volume day, anticipated high volume day. We'll see. There's going to be volume tomorrow, right? Because last 2 days there's been nothing in the first 2-3 hours of the NY Open. All right. So yeah, I'm going to end the stream now. In fact, it's just about a minute and a half for the candle to close. We should be closing. Wait for the candle to close. The 30-minute candle should close again. This closed at resistance. This also should close at resistance. Let's see. Let's wait for the candle to close. Yeah, we are bullish. There's no point looking to take sells here. We are bullish. 30-minute support has formed. We got to wait for this candle to close in a minute and a half. Very likely it's going to close a doji. Um, I'm going to keep my pending orders here, anticipating price to respect this structure here, right? Respect the liquidity candle, which is there, and continue higher. That is why my stop loss is under there, but obviously I'm going to manage risk. Let's see, look at areas where we can manage risk. At 33.39. Yeah, these are all levels that you can manage risk at. On these buys, if price comes down. If price comes down, these are risk management. At the places you can close partial positions, or where you can place your stop loss. Ideal stop loss would be under the liquidity candle, right? But these are levels getting on the way there where you can manage risk if price comes down, right? To push up again. Okay, 33.39, 33.37, 33.33. These are my pending orders at these areas right here. There's one just under the sniper level, the 5-minute demand level here, drop base rally, and then one deeper in, there's a 1-minute candle there, and then there's a 15-minute rally base rally here, and a 5-minute level here, right there. Right, those are the levels. Let's see if price comes down to push back up. Okay. Yeah, we're pushing up. We created support. Should be coming to 33.58, back to 33.58. And then once 33.58, where's 33.58? Here. And then 33.67. All right. All right, that's the end of the stream. Hour 30 minutes. Yeah, candle closed doji as expected. There's nothing happening. We ranged here at 33.50 yesterday, and it seems like it's doing it again. So 30-minute resistance, we formed support and then a doji, right? Might come down, might break this low and come further down. Yeah, could break this low, come further down, then push up. All right. Hmm. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Price is coming down. We've broken the low. We're coming back down again. I'm anticipating price to push up, so we could come down and then continue higher. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Take care. We'll come. I'll be here back at 7:30 a.m. EST tomorrow. We'll do our analysis and see if we have a trade set up for NFP tomorrow. All right. Take care. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. Wait for tomorrow. We could close a small body daily doji kind of here. So just it could be ranging. So be careful. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Take